Welcome to the Verify Pipeline Execution 1410 Kickoff. My name is jheimbuck, Product Manager for the Pipeline Execution Group here at GitLab. As a reminder, this group is responsible for GitLab CI, such as pipelines, pipeline processing, as well as the category of merge trains. I'm joined by the Pipeline Execution Product Designer, Vitika. In the 1410 milestone, we'll be focused on closing some vulnerability issues, improving CI minutes visibility, and CI minute metering for public projects to help with mitigating pipeline abuse while still enabling OSS projects to get contributors contributing to them without burning through their minutes. You'll find the link to the 1410 kickoff page with links to these items and the Verify Stage Direction page with discussions of our future work in the comments below the video. You could always reach me at jheimbuck@gitlab.com through email or by pinging me in comments on items with the group pipeline execution label in the GitLab project. So in the 1410 milestone, we're going to continue to work on our goal towards separating cost factor for open source public projects and just regular public projects that aren't part of the open source program. We've been working on that for a couple of milestones. We're getting really close. The focus for the team within 1410 is really twofold beyond that. First is the focus for users to be able to see their CI minutes as well as their SaaS runner duration usage. We'd previously introduced this at the group level, but this was hidden behind a premium tier feature, and it was only for projects that were part of that group. We know that this change is going to impact free users, so we're also putting this data onto the user usage quota page, where CI minute usage is already being displayed. This is going to let our users see what kind of impact the next set of changes might look like for them before we roll them out. And the second change is to enforce a limit, albeit a very high one, on the public projects that were created prior to July 17th of 2021, which is when we put a limit into place for newly created public projects. Same high limit. This gets us to our next major milestone of the initiative, where all public projects have some sort of high limit on them. And it'll let us turn our focus to starting to harden that limit over the coming milestones so that we can really meet our goals of mitigating the pipeline abuse. So while the team is continuing to focus on this, we also have some great UX improvements coming our way. And I'm going to pass the sharing over to Vitika so she can walk us through a couple of those.
Thanks, James.
Yeah.
I would start off with talking a little about the issue that James already touched upon, which is providing visibility to shared runner usage at user namespace level. So earlier we had made a decision at group level to include this information on the analytics CI/CD page, but we learned that first of all it was not available to users from all tiers, and secondly it was too far apart for users to be making a lot of sense of in comparison and kind of relating it with their CI/CD minutes usage, which is already sitting under usage quota page. So what we did here was we brought the two informations together. So it would be easier to relate, like how is my shared runner usage accounting for my shared runner minutes usage? CI/CD minutes usage. And this is it. This is what the design is going to look like. And we are really looking forward to this getting implemented. And the other usability related issue that we worked in the previous milestone and is getting implemented in the upcoming one is this one, which says job ignores previous stage if canceled and retried. It's a bug. And what is the current behavior of the bug is, so when a job is restarted, it is not respecting the sequence of stages and waiting to execute only when jobs in the preceding stage have successfully completed. And that's definitely not how it should be. It should totally take into account the status of the jobs that it was depending on to start. And that's what we want to make happen here. So we have finally arrived at a proposal for this, which says solve the problem in the backend by not enqueuing the job directly and use this parameter, which looks at the whole pipeline. So now when you restart a job, it will take into account the status of the previous job or the jobs in the previous stage, if it's being executed by the sequence of stages. And there's that. Now I'll move on to some other UX system usability scale impacting issues that I'm looking at in this milestone so that we are able to take them up in one of the upcoming milestones. The first one here says users cannot re-add merge request to a merge train when pipeline must succeed is enabled. So what is happening is when pipeline must succeed is enabled, and you as a user, you're adding a merge request to a merge train, and the pipeline gets started for the merge train, and accidentally you happen to remove that merge request from the train, or maybe because of some fault, it gets dropped from the train. It is not possible to add it back to the train because fight and must succeed is selected. So we want to change this. We want to enable user to be able to add it back to the train and not get blocked here. And that's what we'll be working towards. Another one says cannot merge request due to unknown requirement. So I hope you haven't, but in case you have ever run into this situation where it says you can only merge once the items above are resolved, and there's no clear indication of what is it for you to resolve. We want to look into it, and we want to make sure that we are communicating very clearly about what needs to be done for you to get to a healthy merge button. And the last one that we want to look at is git push option merge request merge in pipeline succeed does not use merge train. So when you have merge trains enabled for your project and you use the git push option to merge when pipeline succeed, what it does is instead it does a merge immediately, which shouldn't happen. And we want to fix this bug, and we want to make sure the experience is on track. And that's all from me. Back to you, James.
Thank you, Vitika. I'm really excited that you're finding and surfacing these usability issues that aren't about the interface and really about the experience. So we don't need to change design, but we need to change how it works for users to make their workflow a lot simpler and easier. Thank you so much for finding those and surfacing those to the team. They're super important for us. And I can't wait to not put a bunch of empty commits into my merge train MRs so that I can get them back onto the train. That'll be very exciting when we start working on implementing that. So we are very excited for the 1410 milestone. If any of these issues are interesting to you, either in the implementation or the design phase, feel free to give us a tag on any of them. Thanks.